Today in our society, people are faced with problems that ultimately can lead to food insecurity.
Food insecurity means the state of or risk of being unable to provide food for oneself, a family, or even a nation. Ms. Kerr, a Powerhouse staff member, believes that if you eat healthy, you will maintain a clean and vibrant life.
Statistics and research shows that people who eat healthy and maintain a healthy diet live longer and have a better quality of life.
Some adults strongly agree with this issue. Youth are quite aware of this problem as well.
It's just we get the same thing. So it's just like if we was to go grocery shopping or get a certain thing, we would get the same things. It never changed up. And none of it is really healthy. So
Jackie and Deja feel that eating healthy is very important for physical well-being, but people buy junk food because they think it costs less.
It affected by being too much, especially with the healthy products. It's just too much, and not having the money for it, making you want to go to McDonald's to buy a dollar burger or whatever it is the case may be.
Eating healthy food is important, but for most people it's kind of hard to do, seeing the fact that when it does come down to purchasing, some of it is like kind of expensive. You could like spend less money on buying like junk food and whatnot. But eating healthy is very, very important.
Food, in my opinion, is all about mass consumption. In this country, there are people who make not a lot of money. So I think the mentality is, well, let's just mass produce food that's cheap, that has the basic ingredients, that's also lower quality, that's also highly processed, and let's just put it in communities where people can't even afford to shop in the first place. And a lot of that food winds up being junk food.
Shoppers find that getting healthier foods is a big dilemma for various reasons.
I think the price of food affects how often I go as well as what I purchase, because food fluctuates in its price, especially during the summertime, because I like to purchase a lot of fruits, vegetables, and things of that nature.
The cost of transportation, the cost of living, factoring rent. Sometimes it's really hard when it goes to groceries, and especially when you're on a fixed budget. So you try to get your essential things, and then for some reason I find that produce is a lot more expensive in the grocery stores, and that really limits how many fresh vegetables I get sometimes.
I don't have any transportation, and I have arthritis bad. I'm a hard patient, and I have to walk everywhere I go.
The cost of food affects how we eat because it's just stuff that's getting higher and higher and higher, and it's more expensive. So it's just like certain things we can't get that we feel like we need.
Healthy food isn't necessarily more expensive, and a lot of people don't realize how much money they spend on junk food. August 20th, 2009 edition of Times Magazine says, a study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that $1 could buy 1,200 calories of potato chips or 875 calories of soda, but just 250 calories of vegetables or 170 calories of fresh fruit.
Veronica Walker and Barbara Bates, shoppers at Leamington Foods, believe the price of food does not really affect the way their family eats.
Well, the price of food now is kind of rising, so at this point you have to limit certain things that we buy, but nevertheless we're still able to provide and eat.
The price that food costs really doesn't affect how I purchase, because I'm not a cooker. I don't really cook every day, so normally I'll just make trips to the grocery store just so I can get fresh groceries.
Sue Harris, a Westside Chicago resident, believes that the farmers market is a great place to get freshly grown, affordable food. Unfortunately, Sashu doesn't have access to a farmers market in her community.
To the farmers market, I haven't been since I've lived in Chicago.
Why is that?
There's none located near me, and I don't drive, and so it's really hard for me to shop the way I would like, which is probably why I only go to the grocery store maybe once a month.
The farmers market is also a great alternative to provide healthy food in the community. You ask most people in Chicago where a local farm will be, they mention some rural town an hour and a half away. But there is actually major support for urban farming in the city, helping to make local, affordable produce a viable option for consumers.
A farmer's market is basically where farmers go and they take their wares and produce to sell to the community. But it eliminates all of the middle people. So instead of like a farmer selling to a wholesaler who then sells to a store who then sells to the community, it's a direct link between the farmer and the community.
You have more of a variety in the grocery store, but the farmer's market is usually a little bit fresher.
The U.S. Department of Agriculture says less than 1% of American cropland is farmed organically.
$5 to purchase food. What would I choose to eat? Let's see, sweet potatoes, some greens, and some orange juice, something that's healthy.
Healthy food because it's better. You'll have more protein, you'll just feel more better.
There have been numerous food recalls and people are getting sick from food in the past 2 years. Hard to believe, but many of these people became sick from processed foods.
Back in older generations, they didn't really have much problems because back then, home-cooked meals were a daily requirement.
We need to get back to the old days when obesity was not a major issue in America. The first step is making home-cooked meals as a priority. Avoid prepared foods. Instead, cook your own meals.
Another step is to pay attention to food labels and try to eat more organic foods. Lastly, cut down on the amount of fast food that is consumed daily. This is really unhealthy and contributes the most to the problem. It is up to you because fixing food insecurity
in our community begins with smart choices.
And you.
Thank you.